There is a line to a quarry at the end of Thomas's branch that goes for some distance along the road. Thomas was always very careful here in case anyone was coming. Beep, beep! He whistled. Then people got out of the way and he puffed slowly along with his trucks rumbling behind him. Early one morning, there was no one on the road but a large policeman who was sitting on the grass close to the line. He was shaking a stone from his boot. Thomas liked policemen. He had been a great friend of the constable who used to live in the village, but he had just retired. Thomas expected that the new constable would be friendly too. Beep, beep! Good morning, he whistled. The policeman jumped and dropped his boot. He scrambled up and hopped round on one leg till he was facing Thomas. Thomas was sorry to see that he didn't look friendly at all. He was red in the face and very cross. The policeman wumbled about, trying to keep his balance.
Disgraceful, he spluttered. I didn't sleep a wink last night. It was so quiet. And now engines come whistling sadly behind me. My first day in the country, too.
He picked up his boot and hopped over to Thomas. I'm sorry, sir, said Thomas. I only said good morning. The policeman grunted, and leaning against Thomas' buffers, he put his boot on. He drew himself up and pointed to Thomas.
Where's your cowcatcher?
He asked accusingly. But I don't catch cows, sir.
Don't be funny,
snapped the policeman. He looked at Thomas's wheels.
No side plates either.
And he wrote in his notebook.
Engines going along public roads must have their wheels covered and a cowcatcher in front. You haven't, so you're a danger to the public.
Rubbish, said Thomas's driver. We've been along here hundreds of times and never had an accident.
That makes things worse,
the policeman answered. He wrote regular lawbreakers in his book. Thomas puffed sadly away. The fat controller was having breakfast. He was eating toast and marmalade. He had the newspaper open in front of him, and his wife was just about to give him some more coffee. The butler knocked and came in. Excuse me, sir. you were wanted on the telephone.
Oh, bother the telephone, said the Fat Controller. I'm sorry, my dear,
he said a few minutes later.
Thomas is in trouble with the police. I must go at once.
He gulped down his coffee and hurried from the room. At the junction, Thomas's driver told the Fat Controller what had happened.
Dangerous to the public indeed. We'll see about that.
And he climbed grimly into Annie the coach. The policeman was on the platform at the other end. The Fat Controller spoke to him at once, and a crowd collected to listen. Other policemen came to see what was happening, and the Fat Controller argued with him too. But it was no good.
The law is the law,
they said.
We can't change it.
The Fat Controller felt exhausted. He mopped his face.
Well, I'm sorry, driver,
he said.
It's no use arguing with policemen. We will just have to get those cowcatcher things for Thomas, I suppose.
Everyone will laugh, sir, said Thomas, sadly. They say I will look like a tram. The Fat Controller started. Then he laughed.
Well done, Thomas. Why didn't I think of that before? We need a tram engine. When I was on my holiday, I met a nice little engine called Toby. He hasn't enough work to do, and he needs his chains. I'll write to his controller at once.
A few days later, Toby arrived.
That's a good engine,
said the Fat Controller.
I see you brought Henrietta. I hope you don't mind, sir,
asked Toby anxiously.
The station master wanted to use her as a hen house, and that would never do. Yes, indeed, said the Fat Controller gravely. We couldn't allow that.
Toby made the trucks behave even better than Thomas did. At first, Thomas was jealous, but he was so pleased when Toby rang his bell and made the policeman jump. After that, they have been firm friends.